Nevada is ground zero for America's foreclosure crisis. More than half of the homes in the state faced a foreclosure-related filing in 2011, and it's not over yet. In our next award-winning story, Desert Underwater, KLAS TV Las Vegas reporters George Knapp and Colleen McCarty investigated the root causes and culprits for the collapse of the housing market, its effects on local economic health, and the devastating impact it has had on individual families. The station's online team created a massive database culled from financial reports and government statistics to help homeowners navigate the brutal foreclosure process. In this excerpt from KLS TV's Desert Underwater, we'll see what is really happening to the tens of thousands of homes banks have foreclosed in Las Vegas.
We are ground zero. There is virtually no one in this state that has not been affected by the foreclosure problem.
Entire neighborhoods have morphed into foreclosure ghettos. Evicted homeowners, angry at what they see as shabby treatment by their lenders, take out their frustrations by stealing fixtures and demolishing what's left. An estimated 6% of the homes in Clark County are vacant, along with 11% of apartments. Empty, shuttered homes are an open invitation to criminals, taggers, vagrants. The glut of vacant houses has been a bonanza for urban marijuana farmers. Police have seen a 5-fold increase in sophisticated grow houses, most of them operated by big-time criminal organizations. And the rancid icing on the cake comes from the banks. The mortgage holders, so quick and efficient in their foreclosures and evictions, often do little or nothing to maintain the properties once they're seized. Water and power are cut off. Lawns and trees die. In some neighborhoods, it's an epidemic of neglect, even in upscale gated communities.
All along the way, each of these entities gets a cut. Everybody's making money. But perhaps more importantly, the lender has shifted the risk that maybe Bob doesn't pay off his loan and dumped it squarely on the investors. Bob is likely unaware that any of this has taken place. He pays his mortgage every month to a B of A servicer. Plus, if he looks his house up at the county recorder's office, it reflects that B of A holds his mortgage. However, again in the late 1990s, to circumvent the traditional recording process, mortgage bankers created the Mortgage Electronic Registration System, or MERS. It allows members to sell mortgages again and again without recording the transactions with the county. That saves them both time and money. Despite its complexity, all of this worked, up until the point that Bob defaults on his loan.
Across the country, banks and service providers have encouraged homeowners to go into default. It's bad advice. They lose the paperwork, drag it out for months or longer. A Bank of America whistleblower submitted a statement in an Arizona court case alleging it's done on purpose, that dragging it out keeps the debt off the bank's books. Matt Collister says lenders have a built-in incentive to foreclose. In the end, they get the house plus reimbursement from the government.
The reason that the banks want to foreclose, as opposed to work with you and me on modifying our loans, is because that loan is federally guaranteed.
They have every incentive to foreclose.
They have only an incentive to foreclose.
Here to accept the Dupont Award for KLS TV's Desert Underwater, please welcome KLAS TV News Director Ron Cumming.
I'd like to thank the University and School of Journalism and the jurors for the Dupont for this honor and the recognition for our I-team. With me tonight, our senior investigative reporter, George Knapp, investigative reporter, Colleen McCarty, and our senior chief photographer, Matt Adams, and they're only part of the team. For a long time, most of us thought that Las Vegas was impervious to changes in the economy. And then the recession hit Las Vegas really hard. Within weeks, 80,000 people lost their jobs, and that's just in the construction industry. And thousands of people lost their homes to foreclosures. The banks jumped in on the situation, and foreclosed on properties so fast that they began to employ unethical and illegal practices because they just couldn't foreclose on them fast enough. And when our own senior investigative reporter found out that the home he bought for himself, which was a foreclosure, had been taken from its previous owner through illegal robo-signing, we knew we had a really big story. Well, foreclosures today have slowed significantly, in part probably because of the national mortgage settlement, but also because of a new state law that now forces banks in Nevada to prove that they have legally executed documents before they take someone's house away. And I also think because our I-team did so many stories telling people what was going on and what the banks were doing. And in that process, they showed the real human loss and suffering that took place in Las Vegas and in Nevada. And for that work, I'm very proud of them. And I also want to recognize our company, our owner, which is Landmark Media Enterprises, and our general manager, Emily Nielsen, a former news director, because to have their kind of support where we were able to do this work and an hour of primetime programming whenever we asked for it is very rare in our industry, and I'm very, very grateful to have their support. And again, we thank you for this recognition. It's really great.